Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our second and final winner bracket semifinal. It's time for 5EVA to take on a new MVP Phoenix. I'm LD, joined here by GoDz. Winner of this match moves on to play Rave. The loser will drop down to play MVP Hot 6. So could have an all MVP showdown there in the lower bracket, or maybe it'll be 5EVA who face off against them in the next round.
You sound so gangsta every time you say 5EVA. Yeah. I mean, I think the name itself has that like gangsta type feel to it.
What can I say?
It's good. It's something
different.
I mean,
Miracle's living that thug life.
Yeah. I've met the guy. He's very quiet and shy. I don't.
Yeah, not really at all.
It'll be like one of those like secretly thug life videos where he just catches you by surprise by something he subtly does, but
maybe. Yeah, it's like one of those.
He's a subtle gangster.
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly. He's a subtle gangster. Well,
okay.
The draft is very straightforward. Let's hop into it, guys. We're going to get through the banning stage now and get into the picks soon. It's an interesting draft already because MVP Phoenix will go ahead and ban out that Miracle Naga Siren. We did not see anything of the sort, I should say, in the last series. We saw his Spirit Breaker and his Earthshaker in the safe lane. It was kind of especially the Earthshaker game, he wasn't even really getting all the farm. They gave a lot of it to the Visage on the team. It ended up working out pretty well. Makes it tough to draft against the team. I thought it was a cool adjustment from them. Whether or not it's going to be their long-term approach or if it's kind of an occasional thing they want to sprinkle in, we'll see. But for now, they started off with the Bat Rider. And this is not a hero that you want to give away in general. But if you want to start banning things like Naga Phase 1, you're probably going to have to.
Yeah. I think the big thing with this new team of Miracles is that they've got just a much more versatility as far as their roles go. In the past, Miracle had to play that main carry because Pelosin, an amazing mid player and a great tempo controller, but you didn't really play the carry type mid, so you didn't really put him on like a Shadow Fiend or a TA or these kind of more carry-oriented mids, whereas now with you playing the mid lane, it seems like they've got a lot more kind of versatility there, or Chibik sometimes playing mid as well, so I think the fact that Miracle doesn't have to play the hard carry, he just plays these more unconventional heroes, suits him a lot more. Because even in the past, when he was on First Departure, Miracle would sometimes play a slightly unconventional hero, like he popularized kind of a Legion Commander solo mid, and it seems to be like his flavor where he wants to play these different heroes that teams aren't used to versing.
Yeah, he likes to tinker and experiment a little bit. What's 5EVA going to go for here? They've got their Bat Rider. They opt for the Skywrath Mage. The other big partner is that Ancient Apparition, if you want someone who can zone pretty well early and also really benefits from the lasso, but they get a good pick-off combination here. They don't reveal too much. As for MVP, going into the Axe Venge early, we saw MVP's Enigma in their previous series. I'm trying to think, what else were they running in that particular showdown? The other support they ran was Chen. They ran a jungler both games. They also ran the Drow in one of those games, so Drow will not get banned out. You feeling like it could be a jungler this time around with that Enigma still in the pool, GoDz? They do pick the Venge, which could be kind of preparation for it.
As much as Fabi didn't have the best Enigma game, I don't think it's something where you can just say, look, he had a bad Enigma game, we're going to stop picking it for him.
They also won the game. I mean, it was a pretty convincing win, too. Like, it looked awful for Fabi. They were never really in much danger of losing.
And it was very much like he kind of just went on tilt and his bad game snowballed into an even worse game, where it seemed just from a spectator point of view, it's like, well, he's not that he's thrown in the towel, but he's on tilt. He's just not really focusing, it seems. So I wouldn't, if I'm
from a viewer point of view, it's very natural to be like, oh my God, Fabi disband, worst player ever, retire now, delete this game and never play again. But from a team point of view, the Enigma still mostly did its job. It ultimately let them take those early towers in the safe lane. I believe they took 2 very quickly, allowed them to get some good map control. They had their fast mech. There were bad fights in the mid game, but 5EVA are going to leave it in the pool. They will remove instead a Queen of Pain here.
Yeah. Venge not the best zoning support, so if you do go for the Enigma, it does give you some pretty weak lanes. Axe is going to be completely on his own in the off lane. Your safe lane farmer is going to have a Venge to do zoning, which is not really enough for a Bat Rider, I feel. So they can go for the Enigma. They'll just have to get a lot done later on once the Enigma gets farm.
Yeah, I guess if they want a stronger or a more robust laning support, there's the Ancient Apparition available. Goes pretty well with the Venge. Gives you some good right-click potential. We've seen the Lion picks, even though he's not really a lane dominator, just because he offers so much later on. MVP will actually ban the Rubik, and it will be the Enigma. They're going right back to Well, I mean, I'm going to say what worked because they did win. What worked in the previous series.
good ban on the Rubik too, so options to actually...
I'm excited.
Deal
Who
with-
knows? Maybe he'll have
Yeah.
an even worse game than last time. It'll be entertaining either way.
There's the lasso, and like you get to the late game scenarios, often the lasso target will be the Enigma, since with a BKB Black Hole you can just kind of win fights off of that, but
They have the Venge, though, so they have some solution for it.
yeah. So we'll see what 5-Ever decide to go for with their third pick here.
Yeah, they can either look to match this jungling by getting the Sand King. Now, if they do that, well, the Bat Rider may struggle. Same for MVP Phoenix, though. Going for Enigma means that Axe may not have as much of a jungle to fall back to if he is indeed their off-lane choice.
Yeah. I think 5-Ever could potentially make a Sand King work because the Bat's just going to should be getting a lot out of the off lane, depending on what March here they
There
get.
you go.
So, yeah, the Bat should be able to get enough out of the lane that, yeah, he won't have jungle stacks to fall back on, but Lycan, all-in kind of pushy strat here. I mean, you've got decent late game on top of this with Lycan Enigma, but their potential to take early towers, early Roche is phenomenal right now.
Well, there's not going to be pressure on the lane. You know that as soon as the Sand King comes off the board. I do like this by MVP Phoenix. There is the Bat Rider, who's going to be a bit of a nuisance. They may even throw this like in mid and pick someone else for the safe lane. That is also a possibility here.
Yeah, I think depending on what 5-Ever get with their kind of mid-hero, but yeah, Lycan does seem almost more suited to the mid lane nowadays than the safe lane, unless you know you're having an easy safe lane, and Bat Rider is not an easy safe lane. That's a hero that will contest the lane, and you kind of lack some zoning potential. Lycan Venge, I mean, you don't... I think the Lycan is actually surprisingly okay at zoning out the Bat Rider. With the minus armor from Avenge Wave, you have the Lycan Wolves and the Howl bonus damage. You can actually do some decent physical damage onto the Bat Rider, so a deceptively okay hero as far as zoning Bat Rider out. The Wolves also not taking much damage from the Firefly, so... Bat, though, end of the day, is still going to get okay farm and CS as well as XP.
And he does have kill potential. If this Venge ever screws up, overextends, sticks around a little too low, at some point the Bat's just going to win if you try to trade blows, and then you try to run, and he kills you. So it could go either way in the off lane, and, well, pick number 4 for 5-Ever, really taking their time with it. What's the choice going to be here? They don't really have a whole lot of late game, and they're not going to go for much more. They pick up the Mirana. It looks to be a core Mirana, unless we're gonna see like some sort of crazy Sand King mid to counter that Lycan. Used to be Mushi's go-to move if he knows there's a melee farmer. Level up the Caustic Finale, dominate someone in a 1v1, but it's a very situational type of thing to do.
Yeah. Now, Mirana picked as a core is very much not for the late game potential or this hero being played as a carry. Entirely forgetting kind of the nuke burst damage in the mid game. So having a hero that can scale okay as a late game, but you want to be able to fight and defend the pushes. Mirana with the kind of early max Starstorm, being able to initiate with a Moonlight Shadow and Arrow is going to be more the angle they take with this pick. But as you said, it may still be a support run if they want to run someone like a Sand King in the mid lane.
The one thing that bothers me for 5-Ever though is they have no Roche potential, and they're dire.
That is a bit of an issue.
They
Well, they're going to
also
lose a lot of Roche control because of the push from MVP Phoenix, but you still want something.
You want to be able to threaten it at the very least. They also don't counter push that well. They have Firefly and Epicenter as like a threat when you push the tower, but they don't have like easy wave clear here. It feels like 5-Ever have to get a lot done early.
You've got to imagine their last pick's going to be some kind of physical damage, though, because they have kind of like you say, no Roche potential, but also just no real pushing power right now. They don't really have the best push defense, so they need some kind of
they need some here that kind of
physical
ties it all
damage
together.
carry of some kind,
What is it going to be, though?
The Troll was one option. Jugs maybe your other kind of option as far as physical damage carry goes. Not really the best. There's a lot of summons to kind of split the Omni Slash damage between. MVP Phoenix and going to last pick Ember Spirit, and I think we do lean more towards the Ember.
All right, they have something in mind, guys. It is not going to be about pushing. It's not going to be about tower defense. It's going to be about killing. The Miracle Bloodseeker comes out. This team has really been busting out some unexpected picks, and I'm excited. I have no idea how well it's going to work, but this is just going to be a learning experience for us here.
Yeah, this is a fun team to watch because every single game we've seen, just something a bit different, something a bit spicy. And a good hero in general, talk about Bloodseeker. Rupture against the Lycan is fantastic. The AoE Silence. Heroes are going to group up around an Axe Initiation with a Blink Call, and the Silence is going to be great against the Ember Spirit. The Axe as well, who's going to be kind of caught out in that. So just looking at Bloodseeker as a hero seems like a pretty solid game for him, all in all.
As far as Bloodseeker games goes, this should be one of the better possible games. The main way we've seen Bloodseeker used has actually been as a jungler. We saw eHome using that like 4 or 5 times in the DAC Asia qualifiers. I guess this game, Miracle more likely to be taking a lane to farm, though, based on the draft. They do have the Polossand Sand King. He's normally one of the support players for this team.
Yeah, I think...
So, does looks like the slight chance of that core Sand King ain't going to happen, especially...
Probably mid for Miracle. I think he can match up fine against either Lycan or the Ember Spirit. The Lycan Wolves can't really be used too much in lane because Miracle, with physical damage, kills them pretty easily, so... I think likely to be a mid Bloodseeker, and there's not too much gank potential. Unless it's like an Ember Spirit mid and Avenge rotation comes, unlikely that Bloodseeker will get brought down before like an Enigma level 6 rotation.
There was very little hesitation in that pick.
Yeah, it seemed that they didn't care what was getting picked up. They didn't care that it was an Ember Spirit or anything else. They wanted the Bloodseeker.
Well, this is a cool draft. It's by its nature, they have to go around getting kills. They cannot just sit back and AFK farm against this massive team fight. Gargantuan physical damage and excellent late game that MVP have. For 5 Eva, Miracle will start here with some pooled tangos, Stout Shield, and Quelling Blade. Does he actually go mid? This is also the build if you're going to the jungle, but he is going to walk towards the mid lane, it looks like. Okay, let's introduce our teams, God. Something spicy, something fresh here. You've got Chibix playing the Mirana. Polossand will be on your Sand King. It's going to be KS. He's changed his initial since the last cast. It wasn't L.
Good.
It's not Lubby, it is KS. He's now being clear about it for the noob casters. And we've got Ysera as the offlane Batrider. As for their opposition, MVP Phoenix, a new roster, a new day for this team. Nut's going to be playing the Venge. It's Febby going to the offlane for now as the Enigma. March starting off towards the bottom side of the map of the Axe. QO, the flashy player, will be on the Ember Spirit with some equally flashy swords. And K Phoenix looks like he's just going to start in the jungle here, perhaps even. Gets the Quelling Blade Stout Shield. If not right from level 1, then may rotate there very early on. You know, technically they've got the Axe, the Enigma, and the Lycan who can all walk into the jungle quite early.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of options there as far as taking the jungle, but...
And they're kind of playing musical lanes here. First Febby goes top, now he's going bottom. Going to give Axe a reward, so offlane Axe, Febby in the woods, Lycan probably farming... Yeah. The safe lane, it looks like, will
just
be
deciding
where
to like deny his first creep. And it looks like it's going to be, let's help out the Axe in the off lane, because otherwise he may be getting nothing out of this lane without a creep deny. So takes the range creep, which I don't know about taking range creeps in the with your first conversion, but small little thing here. So it will be the jungle Enigma, and KP 1v1 Lycan vs Bloodseeker. This is not an everyday kind of matchup that you get to see.
Yeah, I haven't seen it before. I have no idea. In theory, Bloodseeker generally does pretty well against most melee heroes because he's got decent armor, also just a lot of sustain in the lane, and he can normally trade pretty well. Lycan tends to struggle at those first few levels until the wolves get leveled up, and then it can be very difficult to deal with him.
KP's not even getting near the creep wave. Miracle getting every last hit so far. Maybe not every deny, but...
Had a really nice block.
Yeah, that really helps things out, and KP trying to use the How to help him out, but that's not happening. This is... looking like a great lane for the Bloodseeker. Also
did help his Venge quite a bit bottom, who really laid into Ysera. He did toss out a single stun to start this game off. Of course, however the lane's going, there's always the slight potential that Enigma moves in, but Miracle really putting the hurt on K Phoenix early on.
And now just this big creep wave under the tower, going to throw out a silence, which is going to hit KP as well, so he gets the creep wave, and this is just... fantastic lane from Miracle.
Very high damage, level 1 nuke. Now he has to last hit under the tower as well, and he's not connecting on some of these last hits. Despite the Quelling Blade, only 1 CS. He's now 2 waves into it, gods. This is just not working. Miracle is just putting on a clinic in the mid lane.
Yeah, this is the lane to watch right now, which is surprising, because a melee versus melee, 1v1 mid, you're just like, ah, snooze fest.
Is K Phoenix still playing from... He's from Australia, or...?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if he's in the MVP house in Korea or if he's playing from Australia.
I mean, it's possible there could be a pain issue here to some extent, but in general, it just feels like Miracle's decision-making as far as when to push the lane, getting the better block, like every little aspect of his mid-play has just been flat-out better so far.
Yeah. Well, See the 2-minute runes come out, and Nut's going to get one, and March gets the other. So MVP at least getting some runes here, but that's not helping out KP at all in this mid lane. He's well behind the Bloodseeker. He's going to look to disrupt some of the Sand King's jungling and stacking using those illusions, but
potentially can steal a camp or two, depending on how lucky our illusions get with the spins. They do full damage, so very irritating. Looks like he won't find much. He's just going to cut the wave, though, and this will give him some free gold, it looks like.
yeah.
Let's see how many spins he
I
gets.
guess he's not getting any XP in lane, so he may as well. Yeah,
He's going to kill the whole wave if he gets,
Yeah.
like, 2 more spins.
should be able to get the whole wave. Yeah, no, he may get a couple waves. Will they last long enough?
I think they're going to
expire around when the next wave
Yeah,
comes.
they probably don't want to send them to the neutral camp because you'll just end up helping him.
Courier gonna illusions.
Yeah,
Not enough.
They
damage,
need like
yeah.
6-7 attacks.
The movement speed of the couriers faster than
This
the
mid
axes.
lane, 16 and 12. Oh my god, that's just disgusting. Like even with Blood Rage, that's still just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So MVP do have a jungle enigma, so they are getting some overall, I guess, farm advantage elsewhere. Experience and gold is kind of in the MVP favor, despite this mid lane not really going according to plan. But March at top, still level 1 on his axe, and still not really getting able to get too much done, even with the farm from the illusion rune.
Looking back towards the bottom lane here, Ysera about to complete his Tranquil Boots. The axe basically has his as well. Uh-oh, Polosin has to be careful here. Axe actually only still level 1. Because he cut the wave, the downside though is he denied himself quite a bit of experience. In that sense, I don't know how much it's worth it, but he'll get the Tranquil soon, which will help him really stay in this lane.
Yeah. So meanwhile, on the Radiant jungle, Bat swooping in, trying to just leech XP off some of the jungle farm going down, and trying to get what he can as far as farm for himself goes. Just the 4 last hits so far, but will get himself the bottom bounty rune with a nicely timed fire.
He's just getting lapped, dude. 5 CS on the Lycan, 28 and 16. He's got 44
What?
total CS between last hits and denies. That is 9 times as much as K Phoenix.
Yeah.
I mean, Lycan can catch up to some extent, but
And now he's got phase
he's got
boots.
Rupture.
Oh, the damage output now from this Bloodseeker.
He could just kill K Phoenix.
Yeah.
The only thing that stops this is a TP, and they have none.
Enigma has to just go black hole mid lane as soon as humanly
He's
possible.
too far away. Like, he should just... Honestly, I guess Miracle doesn't know, but Rupture has a low cooldown. If you see any kill opportunity, you could just lob it out there. Whether you get it or not, it's going to do some damage and force him back.
Yeah. Miracle going to continue his lane dominance. This is not how one side of this lane should be. KP a good player, but Lycan not really a hero which he's known for or suits him. He's much more about those kind of more flashy heroes like the Tinker, where he's well known, and it's kind of showing here with this Lycan mid just struggling in the last hit battle.
Looks like they want to set up a jump here on March's level 3 axe in the offlane. Both offlanes under pressure. The Batrider trying to hang on to his tower. They keep on... You see... Polosin keeps on worming his way forward. There is no actual ward. Just kind of good spidey senses tingling for your axe. Tower will fall bottom lane, claimed by the Enigma. Febby off to a good start once again on the Enigma. As much as he struggled that game, he did take a lot of towers early. No difference here. And with the Howl, they may continue, and finally they'll go in for their jump. They get off the Burrow Streak. March not going to spin. Arrow to follow this up. In comes the Starstorm. It will be the first blood. Claimed by 5-Eva.
Yep.
Off to a really good start.
It looks like it's a Midas coming out for Chibix on his Mirana now as well. He has the money for it. Just needs to career bottom lane. Dive underneath the tier 2 tower. Ysera going to go down. Miracle TP's in with a Rupture, but it may be too late. Damage has to be done. Counter kill, though.
He might
Hero
get
goes
more than
down.
this. He's chasing onto Nuts. Has that bonus move
no
speed for a
TP.
bit longer. Look at him just slice through this Vend. One more auto attack. No, he sticks up, but he ain't going nowhere.
Luckily,
The
Enigma has a
Seeker
TP.
way too
Yeah.
fast. Oh, what a great rotation early on.
That is nice here. March trying to get Polosin at top lane on the Sand King. Tranquil
He's
Boots?
got the move speed, but there's a Burrow Streak over the tree line. He barely gets it. Good moves. He's going to drop very low to this Battle Hunger, though. As the Midas arrives, Mirana going to eat her way through the tree line now. Gets back to the lane. And already, Gods, he's ready to go again. Straight onto the mid lane. Just let's dive K Phoenix. Haste runes on the ready, and they'll force out the TPs. Miracle does get Maleficent and dies under tower. K Phoenix will also fall, though, as Ysera cleans that one up. That puts him at level 5. Almost, I feel almost better the Batrider gets that kill. He gets a ton of experiences. Top lane, we'll see a dive. Everybody rotating around the map. MVP striking hard in the top lane, getting 3 kills around the map. And really equalizing this game. It's 4-4 your score. Gold and experience with the tower down bottom really starting to go their way.
That's the thing. Like, as dominant as the mid lane was for Miracle, the Golden XP the entire time has been in MVP's favor. With the Jungle Enigma, something that wasn't contested or punished, it's still looking decent.
And he's almost got a they could just black hole Miracle. What was this TP?
Mm.
Malefice is used, doesn't even need the hole, gets the kill. That was just cocky.
Yep.
He saw them coming too. They were already grouped up mid. He just TP'd in, was maybe like a half-second late on canceling, and then that's the mech for Febby. Just about 100 gold short. They also spotted the Sand King's farming pattern in the jungle. He's trying to clear out the stack here. Polosin only level 3 at 7.5 minutes, and will just get quickly black hole. No hesitation from Febby. They are slaughtering him. The neutral's not cooperating. They're unable to deny him.
And now
MVP, mech online and 50 gold. Everything now starting to swing their way.
an important thing to kind of recognize about the Bloodseeker, this is not a good comeback hero as far as you want to be fighting constantly, but kind of winning those fights ongoing. You can't afford to die, TP in and instantly die again. That really
They're
cripples his
stealing
momentum.
all the stacks too. They will lose Febby. Not sure what happened there. Was keeping an eye on this, but I feel like this is the more important thing anyway. March getting caught out by a Burrow Strike. He goes in on the creep wave. Looks like they'll get one kill. Is there going to be a second? Yes, there is on Nuts now. The Rupture onto QO. Gets arrowed in the face. Can't run. Can't hide. Will fall. Make it 4. Febby was taken down all the way over in mid. Didn't really see how that one started with him, but it ends with 4 deaths.
Hard to tell which way this game's going, LD. Just back and forth.
Well, they did steal the Sand King stacks, though.
Yep.
Like, that is a very slow blink now for Polosin.
Yeah, they do get the 4 kills out of it, so that slows down some of the 5 ever farm, but at the same time, the gold they gain, a lot of it just gets thrown away with those deaths, so...
Yeah, like you said, I think it is hard to say.
A bit of a back and forth, and who really knows? The Ember Spirit gets some good kills and levels out of that, but QO's still not really in the best place as far as 9 minutes in the game. He wants to be maybe a bit higher as far as XP goes, and even having something like a drums already complete. But for now, MVP probably just looking to stabilize, get the mech out on Febby, so they've already got the mech, so they can look to use this to maybe start taking some more objectives, but all the T1 towers on the map have been claimed, which is... for the most part, good news for MVP, but at the same time, it's only a 2k gold lead with those towers down.
The main issue for 5EVA is just going to be their ability to take objectives. They can get kills. Once the bat gets his blink, they'll have another initiation tool, but we talked about it in the draft. It's still going to remain the case for a long time. They do not kill towers. They are not good at taking Roche. All their lineup really excels at is killing heroes, and that's it.
Yeah.
So MVP definitely have like the more margin for error as a lineup.
Yeah, from 5EVA to be able to keep on getting kills here in the mid game, they're going to need some of those key items. The Blink Daggers are the 2 to look out for on the Sand King, as well as the Bat Rider. But even heroes like your Bloodseeker looking for his first basic item. Your kind of traditional items, your Blade Mail. But there are other options as far as Miracle's concerned if he wants to go maybe a more carry-based build as well.
I do want to commend K Phoenix here. Sure, he got wrecked mid, but he's doing a good job of microing his wolves. He's really keeping eyes on 5EVA. And even if it's not setting up kills, it is just making sure that there's no shenanigans at play. Scouting out Miracle's movements.
He's gone for a
Through the
Vanguard.
woods. Arrow gonna fly out. It's only an illusion. No, they even commit a Mystic Flare.
Whoopsie.
Well, I mean, I felt like that was pretty obvious when he sees 3 heroes and he keeps on running in, but apparently not obvious enough for 5EVA.
Mid lane, meanwhile. Oh, that's a Lycan ulti. They were trying to get the kill on Miracle, but instead they're going to go in the jungle now. That's where the real action's happening.
Slowly burning down, even through the tranquil boots. Arrow coming out onto QO. Is he going to stick around for this one? He's got no way to kill him off now with the Flame Guard remove. Actually, Polosin may live, but Nuts comes in. Chibik's going to leap out of here. QO low on mana, and now Miracle joining the party. He's looking for extra kills. He doesn't just want Nuts. He wants a bit more. QO will be the Rupture target. Gets it off. Held in place. Has a TP. Gets the chains on 2. Now a Sleight of Fist. Didn't even try to TP out. They'll end up dropping 2 heroes in the end. And like you mentioned, while that was all going on, K Phoenix did use his Shapeshift. Now retreats back to the woods. MVP have slowed down a little bit, GoDz. They're not taking quite as many objectives, and they are starting to hemorrhage these kills.
That's the kind of fight where a Bloodseeker will shine. He just picked up his Vanguard, so there's no way you can decide, okay, we'll take this fight, and if Bloodseeker comes, we quickly burst him down and then can handle him that way. He's just got too much survivability with this Vanguard pickup. March wasn't there as well. He's now got a Blink Dagger and will rotate back towards the mid lane. Possibly time for a smoke, which Nuts does have on his Vengeful Spirit.
And they can just use these wolves to scout it all out if they want. Try to find that next easy target. Like you said, Miracle probably not the target. Looks like we maybe have a pause here. Or just some
I
all
thought
chat.
that's what
I
that
don't
was
know.
going to be too, but
Something's happening. The other thing that F5F do have to worry about is the Roche.
Is that where they're headed now?
Yeah,
or
they're already going there, it looks like.
Yeah.
Just straight smoke into the pit. It's a little bit risky against Batrider, but I like this boldness from MVP. The way they throw the Wave of Terror, though, could be a little risky.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous wave. No ward is there, though, so it works out okay. The Hal also used that.
Normally you see it like more like that angle or even like back this way, but
Yeah.
it works out anyway.
So, actually, you see her very nearby, but not going to go scouting at the pit. Seems it will go
A
uncontested.
random Sentry Ward plopped down in a very unusual position as they do jump in the mid lane onto QO. Silenced by the Skywrath, dies again. QO. Rare to see him having the worst game out of anyone on his team, but that is indeed the case. The Aegis has been picked up, though. The Lycan of K-Phoenix, the one to claim it. These kills are starting to ramp up. There's your Blink Call mid onto Miracle, but he's very tanky. Can they even bring the Bloodseeker down? They commit everything on him. They'll get that kill. Oh, man.
He's QO. They want more, though.
And they jump in. Call to follow this one up. They have chains in a second. Palasin will die as well. MVP. Racking up the frags now as they even go in top lane. And Chibix could be the black hole target, but there's no mana for it. Instead, it's Malefice and auto attacks designed to bring him down. He will Moonlight Shadow. Try to cover his own retreat. The chains. No, would be too late now. He's invis.
So he'll TP himself home, it looks like. Not going to get cut out. T1 Tower will be denied, though, so that's some gold that 5-Ever were hoping to have come their way. And it feels like they're doing decently with their aggressive fighting draft, but maybe not quite getting enough. Still no Blink Dagger on your Sand King, just the Batrider with his. And
him losing is the big thing. I feel like that was a 4-for-1 earlier, like when they stole the stacks, but I think it's worth a 4-for-1. If you steal all the stacks, get all the last hits, and deny them to the enemy Sand King, they got like 2 triple or quad stacks, and I think they denied him the end of this double as well. That really just destroys the Sand King, and he's their key team fighter now. As they will jump on the top lane onto Chibix. Remnants come out, the dunk goes down. Jams it in.
Shut down the initiator for 5-Ever, well, one of the 2 initiators for 5-Ever, and now they're getting kills on the main carry, the Mirana, who bit of a surprising carry selection for 5-Ever, and is going to build in towards a Perseverance.
Black hole on the mid lane, just for Miracle, but it's canceled by a flame break. Febby underestimating how tanky this Bloodseeker is. He does have reinforcements inbound, and it looks like he'll probably live through this, but still, that's some commitment. In the meantime, Ysera did use his lasso.
Here comes QO from behind.
Chains come out. Miracle just going to TP away, almost as completed as Crimson Guard. No, he gets stunned. He may end up dropping here, but the 2-hero burrow comes out. Slight, not sufficient to get that kill. Palasin may die, though, as March connects with a jump and gets the spin for another kill. Well, the one good piece of news is he's about to complete a Crimson Guard, it looks like, which is really good against MVP. They have the Wolves, they have the Enigma Eidolons, but there is also quite a bit of other damage outside of that.
Yeah. Surprise Enigma, no points in the Midnight Pulse just yet. That's a good kind of source of just damage, which will be bypass the Vanguard and the damage block, but
You almost always see at least the 1 value point.
yeah, helps with your jungle patterns as well a bit, but slight variation here. He's been ganking and very active, even went for that early T1 tower push. That's where Febby's done really well in his Enigma as far as just being constantly active and not just focusing entirely on his own farm. Securing the early to mid game so that his team doesn't get overrun by what was once a ridiculously farmed Bloodseeker, but suddenly it's KP, top of the net worth. You would not believe that this guy got crushed as hard as he did in lane with where he is right now.
Yeah, his CS is still pretty atrocious, but in spite of that, leader in net worth. If you take down Hall Ladder Towers, if you take a Roche, that'll certainly help the Lycan to get his me time in a quicker fashion. There is another jump. Again, Palasin may be denied. Arrow coming in, the burrow out, but drops low to Battle Hunger and will end up falling. Again, 5 deaths on the Sand King. This is not good enough. Crimson Guard has been picked up, though, and Miracle will become a beefcake thanks to this one. He jumps onto Febby. He's got a Rupture available as well. Does take... Epicenter coming in. This could be the game changer. No, not really going to get much at all. It's only March who is the Blade Mail active. Now Miracle trapped. He hasn't even bothered to catch the Rupture. Does at the final hour, but... well, QO just stands and tanks it. Now he's going to TP himself out. There's a Flame Break to cancel this. Maybe they get the QO kill. Smoke was randomly popped. He'll still end up dying. Miracle even bought back. They get 3, but they lose their Sand King. Miracle has to buy back after dying, and the tower top was just taken. Still, when the dust settles, I think this graph will dip just because of the lead that MVP has built up.
Double buyback from 5-ever that fight.
Oh, double, actually.
Sand King as well using his. So, somewhat even. Experience-wise, 5-ever really come out on top there.
So that's a dieback on the Sand King then.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Oh, so it was, I guess, a 3-for-3 trade with Sand King dying twice. But 5-ever, though, they get a lot of XP out of it. They get some much-needed levels on a few of their heroes. Hit level 11 on your Bloodseeker. You've got level 11 on your Bat now, but it does feel like this Mirana just struggling to really get any kind of big item up just yet. The Perseverance has been there for some time. Seems to be building a Lincoln Sphere, which doesn't seem like the natural item to get with a Perseverance.
Why? What is this good for? Swap, I guess. Miracle gonna get caught. Blink, call, Blade Mail's there, and he'll get dunked.
The Perseverance is kind of like an old school. Perseverance used to be bought a lot in the lane stage for the sustain, but nowadays most carriers in that case would just get a bottle, which is like your cheap, more cost-effective way of getting HP and mana regen.
Yeah, it's also more of a common item on like a hero that just really goes late, and your goal is just never to go to base, never die, and you know if you keep on farming, as there hold that thought. There's a call or a hole on the mid lane. Catches out Chibix, and with the Blade Mail, it'll set up another kill. Well, Febby having a nice redemption game here,
I think it's a good black hole. You get the enemy carry again. I thought for a second I was like, wait, he's not going to get this kill until March got there just in time. Bottom lane, meanwhile.
Lasso was used on K-Phoenix, but the Mystic Flare whiffs. They'll lose their Skywrath, chasing for a second. QO jumping in, has the chains, will connect, and oh, the Firefly ends. Ysera gonna drop as well. QO starting to really ramp up here. It's 4 heroes dead around the map between the Bloodseeker dying earlier, and now these 3 heroes going down bottom. And MVP continue to just pile up objectives. But yeah, this is not working. And when you have when your 2 most farmed heroes are a Bloodseeker and a Mirana, you get to this stage of the game, they can be the cleanup crew, but they cannot be the main team fighting damage dealers. They don't do enough.
Mirana especially. Mirana has spent 4,000 gold on 2 items which give next to nothing in a team fight, with the Midas as well as Perseverance.
And what are you farming for, frankly? 5-ever does not have late game.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by the item selection here for Chiefs. I think the Midas is fine, but you need to go into a much more fight-oriented item after that. Pick up a Yasha.
Maelstrom, maybe.
Yeah, Maelstrom is great. Mid lane, though, March ready to jump, and Chibix maybe seeing another death as soon as a second hero for MVP get here. They can find this kill, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to do so. At least not immediately.
Is hunting. He wants that +1 to come in. It might be from the mid lane. K-Phoenix is getting towards that jungle. He wants to clear out the wave, though. March can walk in. He'll get the call. Blade Mail to start it off on Ysera. However, the Bloodseeker sounds comes in. Arrow going to connect. Maybe they get the March frag on the way out as he tries to retreat here. No, he'll be swapped back towards safety. And now reinforcements arrive. Chibix getting munched down. There's a burrow strike from Polosin. Doesn't even have mana for an epicenter. Miracle suddenly finds himself fighting 4 on his own. He'll drop 2. Polosin barely able to blink away, but still feels like the damage is already done. They're being herded back to the well. They'll even lose their Bat Rider in the end. He falls right near the big camp, and the chase continues. There's no need to go for these kills, though. They can just start pushing in mid and looking for a GG here in game 1.
Sand King has to heal up. Skywrath just use ulti. They'll call it, and that is, well, a nice little idea. I think the 5-ever draft had some potential here, but the execution beyond the lane stage was not really very crisp.
It was a pretty risky draft because they couldn't take Roche. They couldn't take towers. They needed the Sand King blink very badly. They did get punished in the end. Took some risks with the draft. It had potential, like you said, but also had potential to completely backfire. There was no real plan B for this draft, and plan A did not work.
And that was with mid lane going far more one side than it perhaps should have been, so it feels like KP could have done even a little bit better there. It wasn't really the big issue as far as the early game for MVP, whether KP gets 10 CS or 25 CS, but Febby did what he needed to, coming out of the jungle, pushing down the early towers in the safe lane, securing gold for everyone, and then after that, just solo kill black holes. We never saw a black hole in a team fight on multiple heroes, but that wasn't the hero's purpose. He pushed towers, got mech, killed Mirana like 2 or 3 times with black holes. This was just good play, and I think Febby kind of the key player in this game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, especially after, I feel like we're also looking at it from the contrast of the other day where this was a complete 180. So good for you, Febby. Really nice performance for MVP. Going with the stable solid draft, making it work here in game 1. It's a best of 3. There will be a shot here for 5-ever, but game 2 is going to be coming up next, guys. The winner will move on to face Rave, and your winner bracket finals will be guaranteed